Thursday night lights, the MCG. One side pushing for top four and the other trying to prove it's not totally broken. Hawthorn, they have been one of the media darlings of the season. 12 wins, a strong performance against Port, a game style that is built for the big stage. But here's the thing, no margin for error. They have clashes to come against fellow finals contenders, and they can't afford to drop one, especially to a side outside the eight, and especially not to the unpredictable club that is Carlton, because the Blues, well, they finally got a win. After some real tough weeks and weeks of what seems like soul-searching, they held off Melbourne in what could only be described as the mid-bowl derby. It's flawed, but a welcome return to the winner's circle. They have really struggled this year against top opposition, but what if this is something that is so important for 2026? It's about Hawthorn with everything to lose and Carlton with nothing to fear. 200 games for Wheatering, the final game for Doc, Thursday night, G stakes on the line, pride on one side and hope on the other. Let's get into it. You don't have to look very far to see how different these two paths have been. Hawthorn 12-6, sitting 5th on the ladder, and at AFL's powerhouse at the minute. 4 out of the last 5, taken some big scalps and built a game style that combines pressure, pace and serious belief. But there is a brutal final few months ahead. Crows, Pies, Melbourne and Lions, they can't afford a slip-up. This is as close to bang the win game as you've ever seen. Lose it, top 4 is a dream, and you could be in a pole scrap from 5th to 8th. Carlton, on the other hand, 7-11, and only just snapped a 4-game losing streak with a gritty win versus Melbourne. Their season hasn't really been ignited. It's been over for a while, but Fremantle, Gold Coast, Port and Essendon to close out. Blues have to look at this as a chance to lay some foundations for 2026 and gain a little bit of momentum and give the fans some belief. For Hawthorn, it's about execution. For Carlton, it's about exploration. And for those watching, it's about finding which version of the team show up on Thursday night under this pressure. Carlton, everything to gain. Hawks, everything to lose. Let's look at the season. Carlton's statistical profile in the AFL is that equivalent of a paradox. On paper, they win contest, hold territory, generate forward entries. In reality, they fall apart where it matters the most. That final 50. Contested possession differential this season of 2nd, clearance of 5th, inside 50 differential 7th. They create intercepts 5th best in the league and 9th for time inside 50. That's a team that wins the ball and tries to get it trapped forward. But when it's there, it's a disaster zone. 18 for shots per inside 50, 17 for scoring efficiency. They go inside 50 more than most, 6, but they waste it. The ball movement at times is slow, decision-making is non-existent, and once inside 50, it's just hit and hope. Carlton are also mid-table in the important stats. Turnover differential, negative 3.2, meaning their errors are costing them and they're not forcing enough when teams do make errors against them. On a tactical level, they do kick more than most, showing they want control, but they don't have the list that translates to efficiency. How do you beat Carlton? Simple. Force Carlton wide, slow their rebound, deny repeat entries, and dare them to score from back half chances. If you can break them even in the contest, their system will struggle, and it is proven this year. Even when they're on top, they struggle to gain the scoreboard pressure needed to punish you. Hawthorn are one of the most complete two-way running sides in the league. Their strength isn't the contest, it's shape, control, and supreme defensive structure. 3rd for points against, they don't bleed scores, they're hard to score against. Turnover differential plus 8.2, elite pressure, and they punish you. Intercepts, 2nd, they set up beautifully behind the ball and use it. Marks inside 50, 3rd, strong, structured forward connection, and scoring efficiency, 8th. They're not dominating clearances, they're ranked for the bottom tier, and their contested position differential is solid. Yet, consistently, they find territory and trap you in your own half. Inside 50 differential, forward half-time, 8th. Offensively, they're neat. 9th for shots per inside 50, 8th for scores. Uncontested possession, 7th, showing that they spread the ball. They're measured in ball movement. A 58.2% kick ratio shows they like patience and control rather than chaos. But the other stats show they will punish you. And how will they win? They punish on turnover. Great shape. They don't need many entries to score. You break their structure, you get a look, but you have to earn every inch of it. Now let's see what that means. So here's the battle. Carlton want territory, Hawks will want control. The Blues try and bash you around the ball, force the entry forward, and hopefully lock you in by pressuring. The Hawks, they absorb, intercept, and transition with purpose. If Carlton can disrupt Hawthorn's ball movement, they've got to trap the ball forward. They have to create chaos, but must be efficient inside 50. They have to find some element of control. If Hawthorn get time to set up behind the ball, as often is the case when Carlton transition and slow it down, they'll slice Carlton up on the turnover, punish them going the other way. The challenge for the Blues isn't winning the ball. It's what they do with it. Once they get it, make sure it's moved with purpose, speed, and precision. Hawthorn are the kind of system that makes you pay for every little fumble, every wide kick, every missed opportunity. How does that look in the last 5? Well, if you thought Carlton were trending the wrong way, the numbers confirm it. Their last 5 games have been brutal statistically. Points for, down to 67.2, a 10-point drop. Points against, it's up nearly 3 goals at 15 points. Inside 50 differential, that's an 11-entry swing, negative 6.6. Time in forward half has collapsed to 16, only 44.7%. The big red flag, they're not even getting the ball forward often enough. And when they do, it's not even been held there. Their pressure off the ball has plummeted. Tackles inside 50 ranking second last in the league. Even their contested possession diff, usually their strength has dropped. Not massively, but 2.4. They're still clearing the ball well, 4th, but they're not translating that into anything. These are just empty stats and almost a side that is playing on hope rather than structure. There is one small win. The marks inside 50 are up, meaning they are finding better targets, but the problem is he's getting there. That shift has made them more vulnerable in the midfield. There has been visible shifts to isolate the forwards more, hence the rise inside 50. Ashton Moyer helps with that with an extra target, and they've slowed the game slightly, keep handball ratio down, possibly try and regain some composure. It's costing them territory because they're not moving it quickly by hand. The hand is getting out of trouble. So what needs addressing? Front half pressure at the minute is rock bottom. Midfielders are getting clearances, but are worked, particularly on the spread. The forward structure still doesn't capitalise on their strength at the contest. Until they reconnect these dots from clearance to create entry pressure, they're going to be vulnerable, particularly against systems as strong as Hawthorn. Now, with Hawthorn, if Carlton are collapsing, Hawthorn are tightening the screws. Their last 5 games show a strong defensive profile paired with massive increases in turnover and control. Points against, ranked number 1 in the last 5. That's a 12-point improvement from their season average. The turnover differential, plus 19.4, an insane 2-goal jump. That means they're not just forcing errors, they are punishing them. One of the key metrics in the last 6 weeks of the year that we look for potential premiers. Intercepts ranked first, up by 6.2. It's no surprise they're climbing in off-the-ball work, but also it's working around the contest as well. Contested differential is now up plus 8.8. 4th, clearance differential, a positive 0.6. Inside 50 differential, plus 5.2. All this says one thing. Hawthorn are locking teams down, winning it back, putting on the pressure, and when they get it back, they go forward with purpose. That being said, no side is perfect. Marks inside 50 is still down. It's now ranked 17th. They're not connecting it inside 50 as cleanly. Also, that's partly with the personnel and the injuries they've had. Shot score efficiency has dipped. They're getting entries, but they're not finishing as cleanly as they were. They've ramped up the turnover pressure, though, and that's what this means. Their positive 19.4 diff tells us they're pressing higher and more effectively. They've gone more direct. The kick ratio has increased to 7th, and uncontested possessions are down as they deliberately shift to strip out sideways and not overlose and attack a lot more through the corridor and vertically. What's to watch in this game for them is their forward connection. They can bury teams if that clicks. If teams can deny them turnover and force stoppage-based games, it can neutralise the control that Hawthorn have. But this is a real key for Carlton. They have to do it. What it means for the game is Carlton are leaking pressure. They're losing territory and they're relying on making it scrappy. Hawthorn, they set traps, they win it back quick, and when they do, they move it incredibly forward, and before you know it, you've conceded a goal. If Hawthorn own the territory game, they'll intercept, they'll dominate this game, and Carlton simply won't score enough. But the Blues have got to look to slow it down, get them clearance wins, get the ball locked into the forward half, and try and drag this into a grind. And in a grind, strange things can happen in football. For that to work, Carlton have to flip 3 things. They have got to focus on that pressure game. They have got to win outside spread post clearance. We can't have these handballs into more trouble. And find targets and allow yourself to control the ball. For Hawthorn, stay strong. Your system is already perfect. Punish the mistakes, make this and repeat inside 50s and rebound traps, and it's a Hawthorn win. So how will this game be won or lost? It's the structural battle. This is a contest between the most organised defence system in Hawthorn and one of the more confused structures in the forward half in Carlton. But it's also more than that. It's territory versus turnover, system versus surge. It's a club with clarity versus a side searching for it. Carlton ranks 2nd for contested possessions. They rank 5th for clearances. They rank 6th for inside 50s. 3rd for defending inside 50s. On paper, it's a profile of a team that you'd expect to be top 8. But that's where it falls apart. All this gain is hard yakka and it's no reward. Carlton are 13 points for, 13 points for shots at goal. They are 12 for scores from turnover. This is a real damning area, and especially when you add 17 for score efficiency. The issue is structural. It's also personnel. The Blues win the ball. They hold territory at times, but they don't make it count. They're slow to get it from defence to midfield. That allows you to reset, and they don't force enough chaos in the back half of the ground. Defensively, they're okay. Top 10 across all metric, but it's that forward half pressure and your ability to hurt teams when you win the ball back in the back half. And that is something that Carlton have been very poor for all year and are struggling because it only invites pressure. Hawthorn, defensive wall mixed with turnovers, it's scary. When you look 3rd for points against, 3rd for turnover scores against, 5th for inside 50s against, 1st for intercepts generated, they are a dangerous side. And offensively, that gets better. 8th for points scored, 7th for shots at goal and scores from turnover, time in forward half, 8th. They're a really solid side. And when you look at how they've played in the last 5, they're not reliant on clearance. They are dominating field position and their structure is making it hard. Their ability to play inside and outside allows you to spread when you need to. This game really shows a team in Hawthorn who are strong defensively and rebounding, but also absorb pressure and hold shape and transition very cleanly. These are the elements that are lacking in Carlton's game. The one recent issue, though, of Hawthorn has been getting that ball inside 50 and getting it clunked. They create entries, but they do leave you a chance to hurt them from the turnover. That is something Carlton have to look at and really, really get the ball in the hands of the young guys that are looking for it. Let's see what this data tells us. So let's look. Points for, you've got 13 versus 8th, an advantage to Hawks. Points against, 9 versus 3rd, and an advantage to Hawks. Turnover game versus 3rd, an advantage to Hawks. Contested in clearance, 2nd and 5th, 6th and 16th. Advantage Carlton there. Inside 50 differential, 7th and 6th. That's a draw. Score efficiency, 17th and 8th. That's an advantage to Hawks. Marks inside 50, 8th, 3rd, 17th. Carlton recent edge. And time in the forward half, 9th and 8th. That's a draw. With defence transition, 6th to 11th. The slight advantage to Carlton, just showing how bad it is. Carlton have to dominate clearance. Trap the ball in the forward half. Get repeat entries through pressure. Not just first serve forward entries. Find targets early and mark inside 50. This is an improvement area for them. And when they win the ball back and create them intercepts, they've got to get this surging forward. Hawthorn, hold your intercepts shape. Let Carlton have the ball. You know they'll cough it up if you take away the easy options. Be patient. Carlton do defend well, but it's quality over quantity. And use width. Stretch Carlton's midfield. They have been exposed repeatedly on the spread. And this is an area that Carlton's contested game works against them. Hawthorn are a system team with polish. Carlton are a clearance team with a broken end product and a broken starting product. If the game is played in structure, this is a Hawthorn win all day long. Carlton's hope is disrupt, surge, pressure, get some scoreboard nourishment early, and then make it messy and get into a fight. Right now, one team knows what they're doing, the other team is working it out and playing on vibes. When we look at the Hawthorn team news, there's a massive boost with the return of Will Day. massive increase, and that just makes the spread more dangerous. Not only is he a clear ball winner, he's also a structural masterpiece, and the flexibility means that he can spread and really surge forward and give Carlton a real big problem. He already strengthens their elite intercept and transition game, expecting to be used as both the extractor and the connector. And don't be surprised if he gets used as that high winger late in quarters to really push Carlton's shape and really give them something to think about. Harry McKay, he edges closer, and he's no guarantee to play, it has to be said, but his absence really does affect Carlton's forward line. Seeing Charlie work up the ground, this means that Harry might play in the forward line, full forward, and let him stick there, and this might help Carlton's targets. They have always flipped them round. Maybe it's time now to go with this. Voss has toyed with personnel, rotating players, but McKay coming in makes them structurally more solid and gives them a real target. TDK hasn't quite cut it. The thought of Charlie kicking into Ashton and Harry really does make you excited. So this heading into Thursday, Hawthorn get massively stronger. Carlton potentially do have that structural target, but with Day coming back, that makes it even a harder job. One's really a prove-it game for both clubs, but for very different reasons. Hawthorn, they want to be taken seriously as a top 4 threat, as a potential flag winner. That's non-negotiable. You don't drop games against 12th place sides in July and expect to say you are a chance at winning the flag. Carlton, they want to show us that last week wasn't a fluke. They want to be able to show us that 2026 has something to build around. And they have to find that pressure game. They have to use the players. And for once, they have to find the scoreboard. No finals for the Blues, but something bigger. Gaining respect, gaining trust, and gaining identity back. For the Hawks, it's simple. Stay sharp, stay clean, keep hunting, do what you do. And there's no way the Blues win this game. So who makes a statement? Who stands up when it matters? Let me know your predictions in the comments. Margin, your best on, what you need to see from the mob. And if you have enjoyed this video and this breakdown, please make sure you like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. Can't thank you enough for your support. I'll see you for the review. I'm looking forward to this. See you later. Pommy out.